Hi, everyone. Delfino Aguilar here for our newest edition of Del Talk with a very special guest, Barry Habib. Barry, welcome to our newest session here.
Del, it's such a pleasure to be with you. I am very, very honored that we get to spend some time together.
Yeah, thank you so much. I know you're busy. I know you have a lot on your plate. All the time for you being able to join us. It's awesome. So appreciate that. So Barry, you're a man that doesn't really need an introduction, right? You're well known. You're a big voice for us in the mortgage industry. For those out there that may not know a little bit about you, your background, and really your story, maybe share a couple of minutes of your background for those that are not aware of it.
So, career in the mortgage industry started as an originator and was a pretty active originator. Did a little over $2 billion in my career. Now this was when loan amounts are a little bit lower and home values are a little bit lower. So it was a good mortgage career. I was named the top originator in the U.S. in 2 separate years. Had a company that I started, built, grew, sold because I had an idea to help people understand the financial markets better. And that led to creating Mortgage Market Guide and then CMPS and founding those 2 companies and then selling those. And then a lot of things along the way. Had a show on CNBC for 13 years, a lot of TV appearances, been a professional speaker for, do I want to admit this, 28 years. And then in addition to that, have had an acting career, which I've been in 9 different movies with speaking roles. And then I had Rock of Ages on Broadway for the longest running show in Broadway history, produced Chris Angel, had a medical imaging business that I built and sold. And MBS Highway is where I am right now. And it's just a wonderful platform that I think most people in the origination business do know, and real estate industry do know. It's the best resource that you can. And then recently created Certified Mortgage Advisor, CMA, which was just released 2 months ago, and can't believe the response. It's blown me away beyond my wildest dreams and expectations. Awesome. And people are loving it. And then also Social Survey, which I was a founding partner in, which is a great resource and tool. So I've had a few different opportunities and been very lucky and fortunate and blessed that I've been able to do some of these things that have been wonderful life experiences, Del.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I think you have a very wide background, right? The speaking portion is awesome too. I've heard you speak several times, and a lot of great information. You said something as we're talking right now that you give resources to help a lot of people, and thank you for that, because I think a lot of times there's a lot of resources, but not a lot of good resources out there, right?
Well, the way we like to look at it is here in 2020, information is everywhere, but wisdom is still a very valuable commodity. So we look at that as something that's very important to us. And I think anybody listening that can give wisdom to their customers, they'll always be in demand.
That's right. That's right. Barry, let's talk a little bit about 2020. It's silver lining. The mortgage industry is doing well. There's a lot of things that have been happening in our country. Talk to us a little bit about what you see and where you see the end of the year going, right? Maybe start us from the beginning of the year, the transition that we went through, and maybe how we're going to end 2020.
Well, I think we all know, how scary the times have been and how uncertain the times have been and how blessed we all are to have been in an industry that is able to thrive. Not everybody can say the same thing. I know we got a lot of high class problems that we're going through now, because it can be some heartburn managing the volume, but there's a lot worse problems that could be out there. So I think we start this with gratitude. I think we need to be grateful for where we are in the industry that we're in and the opportunities that we have to help other people and do so much good right now, especially by doing all these refinances and helping people and putting people in homes and seeing those homes appreciate, seeing them save money with refinances. And if we take the role of an advisor and do wise debt consolidation, term reduction, things of that nature, it gives you a lot of fulfillment in life. And Del, that's what you need. You need both. You need monetary goals, you need success goals, but there's a lot of really successful, rich people who are very unhappy. That's because they're missing something that we really need to make sure we do, and that's fulfillment. And fulfillment, when accompanied by success, whether it be monetary or goal-oriented, that's what makes you feel a lot happier. That fulfillment oftentimes comes from helping others and doing good and leaving behind some wonderful things that can have a positive impact. So, that's the balance that we all have to strive for, as we know. Now, at the end of this year, it's finishing very strong. We know that. We know rates are pretty good, although they bumped up recently. We called this. We said this. If you're an MBS Highway subscriber, we told you that this was coming.
Yeah.
The reason for that is because we said there's going to be some more demand. We don't have the supply chain to meet it. That causes inflation, causes rates to rise. Now, Del, before this all began in 2019, we said that the 10-year Treasury was going to go to 1. There was going to be an enormous refinance opportunity. I thought it was nuts. They yelled at me on CNBC. They yelled at me on Fox. Well, all throughout the industry, when I put stuff out, people said, you're crazy. It'll never happen. Sure enough, it happened before COVID hit. When it hit, went on all the networks, said, hey, it's going to 0.5%. Everybody said, I'm going to debate you. They'll never happen. Well, it took 3 days later. It went to 0.4%. So the metrics that we looked at is exactly what I want to tell you about looking at 2021.
Yeah.
That is the debt that we have in our nation right now is going to cause slower growth. And what people don't understand, the MBA says, okay, we're going to see refinances decimated, rates are going to go way up. Dan Olick says the real estate market's going to be bad. The Bash Brothers say we're going to have 80% foreclosure and drop in real estate values. Adam Data says we're not going to see any appreciation. We're going to see depreciation, that we're in big trouble. I know they all say that, and I'm not uncomfortable being on the opposite end of what most people think, because that's typically where we are. But I'm telling you that, number one, the real estate environment is going to remain extremely hot. You don't buy a home, you have to win a home. And that's because you're going to continue to see appreciation. Affordability is getting better, not worse. Don't worry about foreclosures. Don't worry about forbearance, because there is simply too much demand, not enough supply. Homes are selling within 3 weeks, and that includes a lot of homes that are overpriced. What we're seeing here is we're seeing the opportunity to protect the equity that you have. Remember that 95% of people with a mortgage, by the way, 34% of all homes do not have a mortgage. Those with a mortgage, they are in a position, Del, where the LTV is less than 90, 95% of them, 87% an LTV less than 80. So there's equity to protect, and homes are selling very rapidly. So the real estate market is going to be great. By the way, vacancy is at an all-time low, so people aren't dumping homes because they've got a cost to carry. When we take a look at demographics just simply much more demand than supply will have. So prices will go up. As far as rates go, Del, here's the thing. The $22 trillion in debt we had in 2019, which caused us to say rates are going to come down because debt, again, slows growth. Like, imagine family, Del, who's got so much debt that they're servicing that, they're making the monthly payments. Now they're in a position that they don't have a lot of disposable dollars to generate economic activity. That's the same for governments. We know every government, every period in time, UK, Eurozone, Japan, China, and the US, all the major economies, the higher the debt, the lower the rates, because higher debt, slower growth, lower inflation, and that means lower rates. I think that will persist into 2021 and beyond. And remember, technology keeps rates lower too. Now, Del, we had $22 trillion in debt in 2019. In 2020, we already have $27 trillion, and it's going to 28 or 29 with the next stimulus deal. That will continue to push pressure on growth. Look, Del, people think that trillions a lot of money, certainly, but we don't really understand how much, because we become a little immune to hearing the term trillion, right?
Here all the time. Yeah.
If I were to tell you, take $1 million a day and spend $1 million a day, how long do you think it would take you to get to spending $1 trillion? Now, for most people, it's hard to kind of contemplate that. Would it surprise you, Del, if I told you it would take 2,700 years? Spending $1 million a day would take you 2,700 years, every single day for 2,700 years before you got to $1 trillion.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, 22 trillion is where we were, 29 trillion is where we're going to be. That's a lot of money. And that will continue to put slower growth. And I think that we're going to be in for a very good interest rate environment next year, especially when the masks come off, because that's when demand can meet supply and push interest rates down. When these people start going back to work, unemployment benefits and pandemic emergency assistance expire, people go back to work, supply comes up, prices come down, inflation comes down, rates go down.
That's awesome. Yeah, Barry, I love that. I love to hear what you're saying right now. I think a lot of people are enjoying this knowledge, especially making affordability easier next year. I think that's an important piece, right?
Del, this is one of the biggest misconceptions that's out there. So let's kind of break this down. I'll try and go quick here, Del. So here's the deal. First of all, everybody gets it wrong. For example, just today, the numbers come out saying that according to the National Association of Realtors, the median home price was up 12%. So people say, oh, homes, we get all kinds of news stories. CNN, news story. Bad news for home buyers. Homes are unaffordable because they're going up at 12%. That's the median home price, Del. That means half the homes above that were purchased, half the homes above that price of $313,000. That's the median home price. Here's the problem with thinking that that's appreciation. It's not. It just means that more homes were purchased above that level, or equal amount above and below that level. And that's because on the lower end of the scale, there's no inventory.
Right.
So if there's nothing to buy or less to buy and there's more available at the upper end, it just means that you're going to have a higher median. It doesn't mean appreciation. When you look at actual appreciation, it's 5.7%. Well, 5.7%. What they also say in the story is that median income is only going up at 3%. First of all, not everyone is going to be factored into that as a home buyer. The 17-year-old working at a fast food stand, making minimum wage, they're not ready to buy a home today. They will be, and they'll be great. But today, you shouldn't count them in that because they're not looking to buy a home today. When you take a look at hourly earnings, that's misleading as well, because hourly, I could work more hours or less hours. What you need to look at is weekly earnings. And guess where that is? That's about 5.5%. But still, what people don't understand about affordability is you don't use all of your income for your home payment, right? We know that the ratio is about 5 to 1. When you take a look at just principal and interest, you take a look at what your income is. If your principal and interest payment was $1,000 a month and your income's $5,000 a month, that's a typically normal ratio. Okay, of course, it could be different here and there. So if you were to buy a home last year and you didn't buy it because you listened to Diana Olick, Adam Data, the Crash Brothers, or all these other people out there said, don't buy a home, right? Rent instead is what they've been telling you for 9 years. Then this year, if you to buy the same home or a similar home, that went up 5%. So if interest rates stay the same, instead of your paying $1,000, it went up 5% or to $1,050. So you have a $50 a month hit. How much did your income, if your income was $5,000 a month, have to go up to include that $50 offset? 1%, not 5%. So when you see incomes going up, Del, at 5+% per year, 5.5% per year, guess what? If home values went up 15%, 20%, 25%, guess what? They become more affordable, not less affordable, even if they went up that much. That's what people have to understand. We're in the top 6 all-time affordability markets right now. So this is definitely the time to buy a home.
That's awesome. That's awesome, Barry. I'm so glad to hear you say this, because there's a lot of people going to watch this. And I think the positivity, the voice of positivity, we always tell people, I think we have responsibility in the mortgage industry to share this type of information that kind of is not, other people are saying otherwise, but there's data that we're supporting with everything you've said. And, we told people last week, it's a good time to buy. All my friends and family that ask, my mortgage brokers, everybody is telling them right now is a good time to buy it. Next year is going to be a good time to buy as well. Right. So thank you for that. That's great.
I agree. You have to win the home though. And that's something that's very competitive. Yes.
Right. So Barry, so you work with a lot of different companies, a lot of different lenders. You have a lot of connections everywhere, right? So what are some things that wholesale lenders in particular are doing really good right now? Is there anything that comes to mind around that? What are some lenders doing well? What are some things that we can do better as well as lenders also?
Communication and expectation are the two, because let's face it, everybody's in a situation right now. We got a high class problem. We've got too much volume for the capacity, especially the capacity is being handled from home oftentimes. So there's a lot of challenges that are inherent, and you can't create a process, or you can't create an underwriter. You can't take somebody, they were working at a clothing store a week ago and say, okay, we'll hire you as a processor. We'll make you an underwriter in a week. Can't do that, Del. So we're all in this limited pool of resources, and everybody's trying to steal them from each other. Okay. Which just bogs down the process. So setting the expectation level, it starts with the LO. Take a great application. I know it sounds basic, but if you owned a restaurant, the way you make money is by turning tables. Even if you have a table with a big check, if they sat there for 6 hours, you lost money. If you turn tables, you make money. If you turn applications, you make money. So look, on a purchase, that's kind of like an arranged marriage, Del. Okay. You got to go through with it. You just hope they're good looking, right? So, but on a refinance, you could be a bit judicious. You could be very judicious. Do you really want to take that application that's going to bog down your system and slow everything down? You probably don't. And if you're talking to a customer on a purchase or refi, you have to explain to them, this is an opportunity that they have. And if they want to have this opportunity and take advantage of it, they've got to be responsive. They can't fight you on stuff. I'm not going to ask you for documentation because I got nothing better to do. If I'm asking you, I need it. That means get it back to me. Don't argue with me. And you got to get it back to me right away. I would have this conversation with every single one of my clients before I took their loan, so they knew the expectation. So it starts with the LO, but then it also starts with that wholesale lender. And that wholesale lender's got to set that expectation level right back to the LO, so that they understand what realistically turn times are, what to expect. Don't expect it's going to get done in 24 hours if it's taking us 7 days. Okay. So maybe it's taking longer. Whatever the expectation is, communicate it and set it.
Yep. I think that's a very important piece right there, because a lot of times we're moving quickly. Like you said, volume is at all-time highs ever. And I think that's funny you said that piece about, you can't get someone off the street and just train them to be an underwriter, right? It takes years of experience. And we're all kind of switching jerseys right now to try to compete. I think communication is by far the key. So thank you for that, Barry. So
yeah,
Barry,
and by the way, what's also important here is be careful with your rate locks too. Don't back yourself into a corner and unnecessarily lock loans and then create pressure situations that you don't have to. If you watch the market, if you follow it, MBS Highway, that's what we do for you. Is we've gone periods of time where we're telling you to float for a month or 2 months and watch the market get better and improve. So you don't have to have pricing exceptions. You don't have to have rate lock renegotiations. You don't have to battle rate lock expirations. You're just making smart decisions every step along the way. And that's really part of what makes this run much more smoothly as well.
Right, data. Yeah, thank you, Barry. So kind of transitioning a little bit, okay, to your second book, right? It's your second book that you've written, Money in the Streets. You got it right there. I love it. I want to talk about that real quick. I haven't had a chance to read it yet. I know what it's about. I love the story. I love the history. Talk to us a little bit of what led you to kind of write this book now.
So I wanted to do it for a long time, and I'm very, very blessed. Found out last week, hit #1 bestseller on Amazon's new releases. So thank you to all those individuals who have been so kind. And boy, my Facebook page, it just keeps getting so many wonderful notes and people that have read it and felt inspired. And they're just, it's been just what a wonderful gift and blessing. I wanted to do this because I wanted to give back. Listen, I've gone through a tremendous amount of adversity, and I've had a lot of struggles. I grew up extraordinarily poor. My parents were immigrants. My dad died when I was a little boy. My mom worked in a sweatshop. My dad, who was an international journalist in Europe, came here, didn't speak English, and had to work at a hot dog stand to provide for his family. And so I know what it's like to be poor. So it's a really big mission of mine to help people become better. That's really one of the things I've always strived to do. And it's important to me as someone who is first generation here, who was born from immigrant parents, to understand the title of the book is Money in the Streets. So when people who are immigrants come to the United States, they hear, oh, America's such a great country, such a wonderful country, and it's such a rich country that there's money in the streets. The roads are paved with gold. All you gotta do is pick it up. And my mom would tell me this when I was a young boy, and she would say, isn't it, laughing a little bit, but it was funny, but it's also sad. And what I discovered and what I learned is by seeing opportunities, and that's a skill we all have. We just got to tap into it. How to see opportunities, Del. So by being able to see opportunities and then take advantage of those opportunities, seize them, and then do good with them, that you really do have money in the streets. I remember sitting down with my mom before she passed, and I said, Mom, you were right. There is money in the streets. You just got to know how to see it, pick it up, and do good with it. But it really is there. You were right all along. And I truly believe that. And that's what we talk about in the book is, A, how to find these opportunities, and B, if you are in a situation that you're going through a tough time, like we all do, right? We all suffer. I suffer. You all suffer at times, right? We all go through these difficult periods. Right. Ways to help you get through that. Ways to help you overcome that. And I think that this book will help you. But also, we get a lot of times, Del, when the wind's at our back, man, we're on a roll. Things are just clicking. What's critical is to maximize those. And this book will help you do that with a lot of great lessons and stories and ways to just change your mindset, change your thinking, change your focus, so that you can be much more successful and make much more progress.
Yeah, thank you, Barry. I'm excited. There's a lot of buzz around it. So if anybody hasn't gone out there and get it yet, make sure you guys do Money in the Street. I like that story very, very much. It's personal to me too as well. Everybody has a fork in the road and adversity through their families and things like that. I'm also an immigrant too, my parents as well. And the fact that I'm sitting here, interviewing you, in being part of Kind Lending is a blessing for my parents as well. So I think I'm excited to read this book. I really am. So Barry, so I wanna end it here. We took a lot of your time here. So we talked about gratitude when we started this interview here, and there's a lot of gratitude going on here. For people that are going through the hard times, and advice for loan officers, brokers, gratitude is a big deal. Here at Kind Movement, we're trying to really promote kindness, happiness. The currency, it's not just money. It's happiness is really a currency. Gratitude is a currency. Closing out, what's some good advice you can give somebody professionally or personally, that if somebody's going through a hard time, you touched a little bit about, or what to really focus on, positive thoughts, positive attitudes going into 2021?
So when we look at personal, professionally, they bleed over to one another. It starts personally, and that just bleeds into professionalism, right? So, the way I start every day, every single day, not my ritual is after some coffee, I need a little coffee to get going, right? So, but then I actually say out loud all the things I am grateful for, all the people I'm grateful for, and all the wonderful opportunities that I have, and all the things and the gifts I have, because I don't want to take them for granted.
Yeah.
Because what happens later on, Dell, is that invariably when something's going to happen, it's going to piss you off. Somebody cuts you off on the road. Somebody doesn't treat you nicely.
Right.
There's like a 90-second rule I have. You allow yourself to be pissed off about 90 seconds, but then don't lose that beautiful mindset that you have, because don't let it steal your joy. And even more importantly, the joy that we could bring to others. Because if we're pissed off, if we're upset, if we're angry, that energy is going to transfer to others, and it's going to take away from them. So we all have this blessing that we can lift other people up. We can create so much good out there, but it starts here. It starts with, let it go.
Yeah.
Don't let that individual or that situation steal it from you or steal your ability to give it to others. So we're human. Be pissed. But after 90 seconds, cut it and snap back, regain that beautiful mindset so that you can be happy and you can make others happy. And that's a lesson that I learned from a dear friend, Tony Robbins, who, by the way, if you look at his Facebook page, he gave the book so much love. He doesn't do this kind of stuff, but he put a little video about the book because he so firmly believes that it's really important for people to read.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. I think that's a good reminder. 90 seconds is a good reminder for that, Barry. Thank you so much for that. I mean, Barry, thank you. I know you're super busy.
It's a privilege to be with Del. It's a privilege to be with you. So thank you.
Thank you, Barry. So Money in the Streets, your new book, I'm excited about that. You're on YouTube, you're on Instagram, Facebook as well. MBA's Highway. Want people to learn more about that as well. It's a great tool for everybody to be a part of. So Barry, thank you again. Thank you everybody for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed our newest edition of Del Talk here with Barry Habib. Thanks a lot, Barry.
Thank you, Del.
Talk to you soon.